Welcome to your practice. Today we're going to be doing a hatha style flow, hatha mixture flow class, sort of fusion. But I'm going to be breaking down a lot of the poses, a little bit more in depth explanation in some poses, just to make sure we have the proper alignment and things. And I'll give stages like level one, level two sort of thing. So this is a class open to all levels. I will challenge you, of course. But of course, listen to your body and do what you can for your practice today. We'll be using a foam chip block. I also recommend if you have a cork block handy or a foam block, that's like a thicker one, having that nearby. If you have a bolster too, it'd be nice to use at the end of our practice to rest. So a bolster, rectangular round, or a pillow. We'll start seated. So I'm going to sit on the front edge of my foam block, crossing my legs, finding your seated pose to begin. We'll just start with a bit of pranayama and meditation to ground and arrive on our mat today. You might roll the shoulders, so just take a moment to let yourself find a comfortable seated position to settle in, palms up or down on the knees or thighs. Become aware of your form, your physical body, and how it's seated, and how you can make adjustments in the body, even subtle adjustments to find more space, more length. You might root down more through the sit bones to feel the lift of the spine. Low ribs might come in, lifting up through the back body, the upper back, the chin slightly into the chest. So I want you to just kind of do your own little body scan. Like, where can I make more space in my body in this moment? Where can I find a bit more effort holding up the structure of my form, my body? At the same time, where can I relax into my body? So there's that balance between effort and ease. And we use this throughout our whole practice. And as you find and create this newness of spaciousness in your body, allow yourself to feel your breath moving in and out of your body, conscious breathing. You're welcome to breathe in and out through the nose, the mouth, whatever's most comfortable in this moment. As you inhale, we feel the expansion of the breath moving outward. And as we exhale, there's this gentle contraction of the breath moving inward and this pulsation. Inhale, taking in as much prana, energy, and exhale, giving back. So it's like this give and take. So find the homeostasis, the balance between the breath, between each posture and pose of effort and ease. So it's a balance of all things. And this is what our yoga practice teaches us. It starts with the breath. So that inhale and exhale, the balance, recognizing the pause between the inhale and exhale, knowing when to pause in your practice, take a break when you need it, listen to your body, or pause and hold in a posture longer. So this is where we learn about ourselves, our practice. Being on the mat is a journey inward. So thank you for being here today to explore this journey with me, with yourself. The more we learn about ourselves, the more we can understand our purpose, helping others find more clarity, more peace, more balance in all aspects of our life. And it starts with just the simplicity of your breath, the awareness. So for our pranayama today, we'll just work with what's called Ujjayi breath. If this not is for you today, just do long, deep breathing. So inhale, belly expanding, exhale, belly contracting. Long deep breaths. Or Ujjayi, we're going to inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, you're going to close your mouth, and it's almost like you're constricting the back of the throat a little bit, and it's like a sound on the exhale. It's quite deep. I'm like drawing the navel to the spine a bit too. I'm squeezing the lower part of my body, which is called the mula bandha. That squeezing as you exhale, that kind of lift and squeeze, that little lock at the bottom there. So it's an inhale, and then on the exhale, some people say it's like the sound of the ocean. Another way to explain would be if I had a mirror in front of me, my hand right now being the mirror, and I exhale with my mouth open, and I'm fogging up that mirror. But with Ujjayi, you're doing that same action with the mouth closed on the exhale. So we inhale through the nose and fog the mirror. See if you can kind of tap into the Ujjayi breath, this upward rising, lifting breath. Ujjayi is a wonderful way for creating warmth and heat in the body, preparing for a practice. It keeps us focused in the moment as well, really good for concentration building. It's also been known to help with insomnia. So if your mind is wandering, Ujjayi can kind of focus you inward here in the present moment. Breath is the one thing that can allow us to stay anchored in the present moment because it's in real time. Just this breath in, just this breath out. Take a couple more rounds of your Ujjayi. Good. Hands together in front of the heart center. Take a moment to set your intention for your practice today, or simply just a moment of gratitude. I welcome you to your mat and your practice, and I'm so grateful for you to join today. What a wonderful way to spend your day, whatever time of day you're doing this at. It's a beautiful way to take care and nurture yourself, mind, body, spirit. On your next inhale, reach the arms, widen up to the sky, stretch up. Exhale, join the hands together in front of the heart center. Interlock fingers, reach palms forward, stretch forward, tuck your chin to your chest and round through your back, tuck the tailbone in. Two polarities of action happening, pressing forward with the palms, pressing out through the back. Inhale, reach the palms up to the sky, stretch up, little wiggle at the top. Exhale, hands release to your sides, high fingertips. We'll do some side bending. Flow at your pace, always go at your pace. Listen to your body. You might even move into some lower side bending, so arms can come halfway down, all the way down, or keep them high, move from side to side. Just find some movements. Fluid, water. We're made up of mostly water. So embody that element in our body today. Let's embody a lot of these elements. We started with the ether, space, creating space in the body. Then we brought air in, the element of air, breath, the prana. Now this water-like sensation moving the body. Good. And then earthing, we'll be grounding down in many poses. That pause is the grounding. That pause, child's pose, whatever you need. Listen to your body, take the break. Earth element. Coming onto all four hands and knees, spread your fingers wide, knees under the hips. Inhale, lift the gaze, lift the tail, exhale, round. Find movement through your spine, through cat, cow. If your body is calling for other movements, feel free to move. Freestyle, circles, figure eight, side to side. All different movements are welcome here. Child's pose, untuck the toes, curl the toes, forward and back, whatever you need. Just listen and move and breathe. Take 2 more full cycles of breath with the freestyle movement, or you're still doing your cat and cows. Deep breath in, full exhale breath out. Good. Drop the hips down, child's pose. Open the knees wider if you need to here. Belly rests through the legs. Active child's pose. Hands reach forward. Stretch your hands. Hands are the width of the mat. Fingers spread wide. Stay here. You might walk your hands over to one side into a side bend stretch. Go as far over as you like. Breathe into the side body if you're in the side stretch. Come center, move over all the way to the other side as far as you'd like. Side stretch, breathe into the side body. Good. Coming back to center. On your next inhale, walk your hands to the knees. Come up onto the knees. We're going to inhale sunflower. Reach the hands up to the sky. Open up. Exhale, coming down, child's pose, just dropping the palms underneath the shoulders, head down. Inhale, rising up, sunflower, open. Exhaling down. Continue to move at your pace with your breath, opening. Exhale. It's a gentle back bend when we lift up. Open the arms a bit wider than your shoulders. Create space in the body. So we come back to earth, grounding element. Inhale, we open up, spaciousness, air, water, fluid. Good. Exhale, coming down. Inhale. Exhale, last one, coming down. Good. Staying here. Walk your hands forward. Spread your fingers wide. Make sure they're mirror images. Really, really spread and root all through the padding. Prepare for your downward dog. Lift the knees and hips up. Walk it out. Find some movement. Pedal the heels. Bend the knees. Move from side to side with the hips. Notice if your weight is in your wrists. Push back so you're away from the hands. Move closer to your feet without moving your hands. Stretch your spine. Notice the position of my head. It's kind of like behind my arms. I'm not in line with my arms or in front. I'm trying to really push back. So it might mean bend your knees more. We want to open up the spine first. Then when the spine opens, we can stretch out the legs and open the hamstrings. But again, it's your practice. See, maybe try straightening your legs. See what that feels like and stretch back. Are you really rounding through your back? That means bend the knees a bit and straighten your spine. Reach your tailbone and sit bones to the sky and stretch. Push away from the mat with the hands. Draw the belly to the thighs. Draw the outer heels down, inner thighs back. Again, like you're widening those sit bones. Feel the spaciousness you're creating. Breathe into that space. One more. Good. Inhale, come forward into high plank push-up pose. So plank pose, your shoulders are stacked right above your wrists. So you want to stack the joints. That's very important. We don't want to get any rotator cuff or wrist injuries. So we have shoulders, elbows, wrists right on top of each other. Fingers spread wide. Try not to drop your belly low like I'm doing here as a demo. This is going to hurt and compress your low back. Lift up, tuck your tailbone. We don't want to lift up too high or else that's down dog. You're in one straight line, tuck the tail in and under. Firm up your legs, squeeze your glutes. Look slightly forward so we're not dropping the head. Slight forward look. And then we want to hug the elbows into the sides of the body. Knees can come down first, or one straight line if you have that upper body strength right now. Lead from the chest. Your hips and belly come down last, nice and slow. And if you can't come down one straight line, you want to drop the knees down first, drop chin, chest, then the belly. Once you've come down in your own time, untuck the toes. All 10 toenails press into the mat. Activate your legs, squeeze the butt, squeeze the muscle to bone. Maybe you walk your hands back more towards the breastbone or ribs. Hug the elbows in so they're not drawing outwards. We bring them into the midline so it brings us more power and strength. And then lift your heart into a baby cobra. Imagine your heart is lengthening forward as you draw your shoulders back, tailbone lengthening towards your feet. Legs are so active, your kneecaps are lifted, but the 10 toes are still rooted down. Squeeze your quads, squeeze your butt, squeeze your back. Hug the elbows, keep lifting through the chest. Breathing. Remember your Ujjayi breath? This is a great time to tap into that inner fire. So again, working with the elements. Exhale, lower your chest down. Whew, that was a nice one. Curl the toes. Maybe you push up into plank or all four, hands and knees, and then find child's pose or downward facing dog. Your option. Take a few breath cycles wherever you're working. Child's pose, down dog. Exhale through the mouth, let it go. Stretch. So wherever you are, child's pose or down dog, we're still stretching the spine. So pick your one, which one you want to do. Switch it up. Maybe do both. Start in child's pose, then come to your down dog. We're going to be meeting in down dog. When you're in down dog, slowly walk your hands and feet together, coming into a standing forward fold. Standing forward fold, feet are hip width distance apart or wider. Take hold of opposite elbows and dangle, shake and nod your head yes, no. Bend your knees as much as you need to so you can really release the upper body. Just kind of like let your spine pour out of your hips. Soften your jaw. Feel the weight and decompression of the spine as you drop your head. Heavy through the upper body. Maybe a bit of rocking front to back, side to side on the feet. Feel the four corners of the feet. Notice where you're distributing the weight more, and can you find balance between left and right and left. Find that sweet spot of balance. Stay there. Bring your hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Shoulders up and back. So noticing my spine, it's flat, it's not rounded. Shoulders up and back. Heart forward, gaze slightly forward. Sit bones pressing back. Exhale, fold. Hands come down. Come onto all four, hands and knees. From here, we're going to bring the right leg back behind us. This is, we're going to bring a bit of that, more of that fire element in, like the Ujjayi breath. So option to keep the foot on the floor or keep it lifted in line with your hip. Activate that leg. Flex the toes towards you. Draw the low belly in. Slight tuck of the tail. Again, we don't want that dip and arc in the back. We want to really protect our low back, engage our core, front body core, drawing it in. Stay here or take your left hand in front of you. As you exhale, you're going to sweep your left arm back behind you and draw your right knee in. Inhale, reach your left arm forward, right leg back. Exhale, right knee in, left arm back. Draw it in. Okay, so this is the action. Find your balance, your breath. Move at a pace that feels good in your body. Slower is better here. Remember, right hand is rooted. Stack the joints. Pull up into your core. Move with intention. Beautiful. Releasing. Good. Maybe shake out your arms if you need to, whatever you need to release. Readjust. Hand under the shoulders. When you're ready, left leg back. Activate the leg. Again, foot could be on the floor and you just stay there. Okay, so anytime, take that break. Engage through the core. Stay here, or right arm reaches forward. The gaze is down or slightly forward. Feel the extension here, fingers and heel. You're reaching in two opposite directions. So again, the polarities of action to lengthen, find more spaciousness. Stay here or exhale, knee comes in, arm goes back. Inhale, extend and lengthen. Exhale, right arm back, left knee in towards the left forearm. Keep moving at your pace with your breath. Slight tuck of the tailbone. Don't lose that connection. And breathe and move. So beautiful way to start to strengthen the joints in the arm, our core, the stabilizing muscles. This is a hard one. It's not easy. So we might work in stages, remember. Level 1, 2, 3, wherever you want to work. You might just move the leg. You might just move the arm. You might just stay in a balance with the foot on the floor. Let's do 2 more. 2. Use your breath, Ujjayi, and 1. Good, and releasing. Excellent work. Walk back, have a seat on your heels, curl the toes under if you can. If that's too intense, untuck the toes, or else we're opening up the padding of the feet. Take your hands out in front of you and just circle the wrists, circle the arms, find some movement there. Good. And then work your way back onto all fours, downward facing dog. When you're ready, come into it, walk it out for a moment. Deep breaths. From here, we're going to take our right leg back behind us. Bend the knee, stack your hips open, and keep equanimity through your shoulders. So the right shoulder wants to pop up. Drop it down in line with the left. Do your best. Root the hands. Come high onto the left tippy toes. Lift your heel high. Lift the knee up, your right knee up. Flex your right toes to the knee. Dropping your left heel to the floor. Keep lifting and opening your hips, stacking them. Come through center, step the right foot forward between your hands. Back knee's going to come down. You're welcome to use a block or padding under the back knee if you need more support. Right knee is right over the front ankle. Now you can stay here or inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Knee over ankle, root into the foot. Arms up. Arms can also be at hips or on the floor. You're drawing your right hip back, left hip forward. Bring a bit more weight into that front foot so you can feel the stretch through the left hip flexor more. It might mean walking the foot a bit more forward. So just feel into it. Low ribs, draw them in. Gently draw the tailbone in and down. Good. Find the placement of the hands. If you're lifting your hands up, I encourage you to find an internal rotation. Pinky fingers turn inward. This helps to open up the upper back and shoulders rather than the outward. This is going to tighten. This is going to open, the internal rotation. So internally rotate, pinky fingers inward. Lift the heart, lengthen up. Press into your front foot. Breathe. Good. Take another full cycle of breath wherever you're working. And exhale, hands come down. Let's take that right hand to the sky, twist, open up, high on the left fingers or plant the palm. Reach up, reach back with that arm, look back. And then reach back up to the sky. Exhale, release that right hand down. Come onto the fingertips or make fists. Lift the back knee up. Hold in your high runner's lunge now. So nice long stride. Still have the front knee over front ankle, and you might shuffle your back leg further back. We're going to do the same thing here. Fingertips on the left hand or fist or palm on the floor. I'm going to put my fist down and stack my joints again. Right hand comes up to the sky. Reach and twist. Pull your right hip back, left hip forward. Reach your right hand back behind you. Maybe the gaze looks back as well. Right hand back up to the sky. Stretch up. Draw your right shoulder back. Right shoulder blade meets your left shoulder blade. Lift up through that left thigh. Lift it up. Straighten the back leg. Heel is pointing to the sky. Good. Exhale, lower the hand down. Come on to the fingertips. Get a little bit of momentum here. So rock front and back through your hips. When you feel ready, step halfway or all the way up to the top of the mat. From the top of the mat, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Soft bend in the knees. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Join the palms overhead and come into a little bit of a back bend here. Interlock your thumbs, stretch the arms back, squeeze your legs, your glutes, squeeze the belly to support your low back. We're not collapsing down to the lumbar low back. We're lifting up and back. Open the front body. And then exhale, hands to the heart center. Hands by your sides, feet parallel. Find Tadasana, mountain pose. And just feel, breathe and feel. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, folding forward. Halfway lift on the in-breath. Shoulders up and back, heart forward. Exhale, plant your palms, step back into your plank position. Again, knees down at any time or stay in your plank pose. Good. From here, right hand taps the left shoulder. Bring the hand back down, left hand, right shoulder. Okay, move slowly side to side. And again, you can be on your knees and you don't even need to do this. You can just hold your plank on the knees or hold the legs up or opposite shoulder taps. Core is strong. Tuck the tail. Here we go for 3. For 2. For 1. Beautiful. Elbows in. Exhale, lower halfway down. Shoulders above the elbows. Tuck your tail. Hold for 3. 2. 1. Push up into high plank. Again, knees can be down. One more time. Elbows in. Exhale, lower halfway down. Check and make sure your shoulders are above the elbows. Squeeze through your core. Lead from the chest. Come all the way down. Belly and hips last. Wonderful. Curl the toes under. Shoulders back. Find your cobra. Lift the heart up. Exhale down. Cactus your arms, bring them beside you, or T-shape with the arms. Open up wide in line with the shoulders. Inhale, everything lifts up. Hands, chest, head, legs, thighs. Point your toes. Inhale, reach your hands in front. Exhale, draw the elbows to the rib cage. Everything still lifted. You're breathing. Find Ujjayi. Inhale, hands forward. Exhaling in. One more. Reach forward. Lift. Exhale. Hands come in. Plant the palms. Lower the legs. Curl the toes. All fours or plank. Down dog or child's pose. You pick. Walk it out. Full breath in. Full breath out. Maybe a lion's breath here. We inhale through the nose. Stick out your tongue. Lion's breath again. Inhale. Stick out the tongue. Good. Let out the fire, let out the heat, but not too much because we're going to still keep going. When you're ready, left leg lifts up. Bend the knee, stack your hips. Bend the knee and lift the knee, flex the toes towards you. Remember that equanimity through the shoulders, left in line with right as best as you can. Root the hands, press back. Come high on the tippy toes, lift the back heel. Lift and push back. Keep lifting the hip, open the knee, and then lower the heel down. Come through center. Slowly step the left foot forward between your hands. We're finding our low lunge. Hands can stay down. Modification, pad the back knee. Left knee on top of left ankle stacked. Hands can be at the hips. Hands can come up. The internal rotation of the pinky fingers. Soft bend in the elbows. Soften your shoulders. So wherever you're working again, maybe you walk forward a bit. Make sure the knee is still over ankle. Back leg, you want to feel that stretch in the hip flexor. So it might mean widening the feet apart. Okay, so find your Ujjayi asana and find your breath wherever you're working. Ujjayi. Find length and spaciousness. Root into the front foot. Let it get heavy. Really feel the foot. Your foundation is solid, so you can lengthen and get lighter through the upper body. Remember that balance of effort and ease. So lower is the effort right now. Easeful through the upper. Air, breath. Good. Exhale. Fingers come down. Twist left arm up to the sky. Left hip back, right hip forward. Take that hand behind you. Reach back, look back. Extend. Keep pulling left hip back. Keep the left knee over left ankle. Inhale back up. Exhale, we bring it down. High runner's lunge. Lift the back knee up, adjust as you need. So you can stay here, remember palms, fists, fingertips. I'm gonna use my right fist. I like to make a fist. And again, though, I'm still stacking the joints wherever and however I'm gonna work. Left arm opens up, twist, same side. Pull the left shoulder blade towards the right shoulder blade. Lift your hips, firm up the back leg, lift the inner right thigh up. Inner right thigh lifts up. Bring power. All parts of the body working with you. Left hand back, reach it back. Look back, extension. Draw the shoulder away from the ear, reach the fingers. Left hip is drawing back, right hip drawing forward. Notice your breath. Lift. Lift the hips. Good. Arm reaches back up, exhaling it down. On the fingertips, find a bit of that rocking momentum. Step halfway in or all the way up to the top of your mat. Once you're at the top of the mat, halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale to the sky, soft bend in the knees, palms together. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Tadasana, mountain pose. Notice and feel. Shoulders wide and broad, heart lifted, tailbone lengthening down. Feel your feet ground back with your breath. Feel the pulsation, the vibration of your heart, the expansion, energy. You can feel it beyond the physical form, this vibration under your skin. Breathe into all of that. So next what we're going to do is chair pose. I invite you to use a block. You can use your foam chip block. Ideally you have a bigger block, which is a foam cork block that's thicker, but you can use either or none. Bring it between the inner thighs. I want the short side facing forward. Bring it high to the groin. Squeeze that block. Feet are parallel. Squeeze inward. We're engaging our deep pelvic floor muscles. Those are deep core muscles in the pelvis. Really squeeze through the inner thigh so you can feel that. Okay, and then from there, chair pose, options, hands at the hips, heart in front or up. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Come on down wherever you're ready. Sit down as deep as you're comfortable. Chest stays lifted though. We don't want the chest down for this one. Lift up. Sitting deep, any variation with your hands. Soften the grip of the toes. Make sure your feet are parallel. Squeeze that block. Don't lose that connection. We really want to tap in. Slight tuck of the tailbone. Just a slight tuck as you lift the chest and sit deeper. You might drop down as low as the knees or a bit above the knees. So your choice. I know you're going to feel the burn. This is a fire element. So feel it, breathe, take a break when you need. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Good. Standing up, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands come wide, take them behind your back. Interlock your fingers and just reach your arms away. Straighten the arms, maybe that little back bend, you look up. You're still squeezing the block. Don't lose that connection. And then coming back through center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, coming back into our chair pose. Find the variation with your hands. I like prayer for this one because I'm going to take it to a stage 2. Sit as deep as you're comfortable and see if you can lift your heels up. Try it. If not, heels stay down. High on the heels, squeeze the block. Maybe you come so low that you sit on your heels. You're high on the toes. Yeah, keep squeezing the block. Find your balance. Breathe. Wherever you're working is perfect. Stay where you are. I'm going to move to stage 3. I'm going to lift up halfway, squeeze the block. I'm going to pulse here. 5. Little pulses up and down. 4. Press the palms. 3, 2. Heels are still lifted. And 1. Drop the heels, standing up. Woo! And reach up, stretch. Exhale, release the arms. Good work. We're moving the block off to the side. You can shake your legs if you need. We're going to take a full vinyasa. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to fold. halfway lift, find length. Exhale, plant the palms, hop or step back, plank pose, find your variation, come down, find cobra or upward facing dog. So I'm going to hang out in upward facing dog. Notice my legs are not touching the floor, just the tops of my toes are. I'm lifted throughout my whole body. The only thing touching the floor are my palms and the tops of my toes. Shoulders back, chest through the arms, lift the heart. This is upward facing dog. And you can do this one or cobra pose. Okay, exhale, roll over the toes, find your down dog or child's pose. Full breath in, full breath out, walk it out, find some movement if you're in down dog. Child's pose, you might want to rock a bit side to side, shake your head, shake your hips. Take some nice juicy breaths. Nourishment, fuel is breath, the prana. Take in as much as you need and then exhale, give it back. Exhale, soften and melt. Good. From here, find yourself in down dog if you're not there. Bring the two big toes together to touch in down dog and really stretch out your calves. Press the heels down, stretch back. Root the hands, really stretch. Feel the stretch in the calves. Good. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, draw the knee in, and we're going to hold here, ripple forward into high plank, core plank, knee in, shoulders above the wrist, lift the hips a bit. 3, 2, 1. Good. Place the foot. Drop the foot down. Back foot's going to be turned out, I'd say about 20, 30 degrees turned out. You can have heel to heel alignment or step that left foot to the left a little bit. And then we're coming into warrior one. Arms up or at the hips or prayer, your choice. So warrior one, the stance is not too wide. I'd say 3 to 4 feet. Knee over front ankle, little bend, back leg is straight. Hips are square to the front of your mat, so right hip back, left hip forward. Always find that variation with your hands. From here, we're going to straighten the legs, both legs now. Exhale, bend the front knee, come back into warrior one. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, warrior one, bend into the front knee. Back leg is straight, press into the back heel, firm it up. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior one, bend. Good. Inhale, straighten. Hands to the hips now. Readjust again, right hip back, left hip forward. And then we're going to hinge from the hips and come down either halfway or all the way. Slide the hands down your front leg if you can, or use a block or 2 blocks under your hands if you have some props with you. Or just go down as far as comfortable. You might even come to the floor, hands to the floor. You're still pulling the right outer hip back, outer left hip forward. Lengthen the heart forward and down. Soften the grip of the toes, root into the 4 corners of both feet. Feel the inner thighs draw in, back, and out. So again, that slight internal rotation of the inner thighs, widening through the low back, breathing here. And then option, stay here or walk your hands forward. We're coming into supported warrior 3. Hands walk forward or your blocks or props. You lift the back leg up in line with your right hip. Hips are still squared. All those 5 left toes are pointing down. Try balance. So you might keep the hands there. One hand lifts up. You might bring the hands to your standing leg. Prayer, T shape in front of you. So be playful. Even I'm wobbling, so every day is different with your balance. But play. Back leg is firm though. Flex your toes to the knee. Press out through the heel. See if you can straighten the leg. Lengthen your heart forward. So like you're in this letter T shape. The letter T with your body. Warrior 3. Breathing wherever you are. 3, 2, 1. Hands come down to the floor. Exhale, draw your left knee into your forehead, hug and squeeze. Inhale, lengthen your leg back, lift your heart. Exhale, hug and squeeze. Inhale, lengthen back, lift the heart. Exhale, hug and squeeze. And then inhale, leg goes back. We're going to step all the way back with that back foot. Big step back. Warrior two. Back foot 90 degrees, parallel to the back edge of your mat, or the toes are slightly turned into the right. Front heel, if I were to draw a line, it would line up to the inner arch of the back foot. Okay, so find your warrior two stance. Set it up, make adjustments. Front foot is facing forward. Hips are now externally opening to the side of your mat. Arms out, deep bend in the front knee, knee over ankle. This front knee always wants to fall in to the front towards the big toe. The body always wants to take the path of least resistance. So we got to work that knee towards the pinky side toe edge, open up the groin and hip. So be aware of that falling in, okay? Stack the joints, back leg. Sometimes you want to bend it. Straighten the back leg, press the left thigh, the femur bone back. Outer foot is pushing into the floor. Back leg is straight, front knee is bent. Arms open, T shape, or palms up or down. Gazing over your front hand. Hips, shoulders are stacked. Breathe here. Warrior two. Slight tuck of the tail, low ribs in. Stretch through the arms, opening the chest. Good. Inhale, let's straighten the front leg, reach the hands up to the sky, stretch. Exhale, find your warrior two. Firm back leg, bend in the front knee. Again, inhale, rise up, straighten the legs. Exhale, warrior two. Let's come into exalted warrior. Right palm up, left hand on the back leg. We have the same foundation as warrior two. Make sure that right knee is drawing to the right. Firm up the back leg. Let that left hand, if it's resting on the back leg, be a reminder to press your back leg into your hand to firm it up. Variations with the back hand, you can bring it to the small of the back. You can also bring the top hand to the back of your head and really open up through, lifting the elbow and armpit, lifting the heart up. So find which variation is best for you. Breathing into it for 3. Lift the heart 2. Soften the back shoulder. And 1. Good. Straighten the front leg. Hands in T shape. Open up. Reach forward with the front hand. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Come back to center. As I lengthen forward, my right sit bone is moving towards my left heel. Come back to center. Reach forward. My femur bone, thigh bone, is moving deeper into my hip socket. It's like that pivot. Okay, so there's 2 actions. When I move forward, you see that action? Right sit bone to left heel, or femur bone into the hip socket, whatever you want to feel into. We want that action here as we stay forward, reach forward, find your Trikonasana triangle pose. You can grab the front ankle, a prop, or just have your hand in front. Left hand at the hip, to the sky, up overhead for a deeper stretch. Internally rotating, again, the upper arm, so pinky finger in and down. Okay, traditionally it's stacking the shoulders, opening up here, Trikonasana. So just find your variation, maybe forearm at the small of the back. So many things you can do here. You can also look down to the side or up, whatever's comfortable on your neck. If you are sticking your right sit bone far back behind you, you're compensating for the pose. You want to scoop that right sit bone in, and it might mean lifting higher up your leg so we don't go too deep. Notice if you're doing that, like if I'm coming down and sticking right back through that back sit bone, it's not the pose. So lift up higher maybe. Work more on the twist. So my hands on my rib cage, twist the torso. Trikonasana triangle is a twist. And then find it here and eventually move deeper down, as long as you're not compensating by sticking that right sit bone out behind you. Tuck it in, scoop it in, and open up and twist. Good. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, release the hands down. We'll turn the right toes inwards. So let's come into a wide-legged stance. Pigeon toe your toes in, heels are wider. So again, there's this internal rotation of the inner thighs so we can open up the back body. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Fingertips to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, melt the heart. One more. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Let's stay in this forward bend. You can widen the legs more if you want, or shorten them in. Take hold of elbows. You can also hold the big toes or the outer ankles or feet. Whatever is more available or comfortable. Palms can also come to the floor, walking the hands back towards the tops of your toes. Just kind of hanging out in this forward bend with the wide legs. Inhale fully, exhale completely, and drop the upper body and head. Just kind of hang out here, feeling the stretch as you lengthen up through the back of the legs. Sit bones to the sky. Maybe the head touches the floor. I know some people have a lot of flexibility, so this could look different in many different bodies. Some people's head touches the floor, go for it. Wherever you're at is perfect. It's your yoga practice, your yoga body, bones, different shapes and sizes. Some people may never get their head to the floor, but that's not what it's about, right? It's about just moving your body and breathing wherever you are in the moment. That's the yoga practice. So when you see certain people in certain poses and shapes, it's like, oh, wow, they're so flexible, but that doesn't matter. That's really not what the practice is about. The practice is about coming back onto your mat, finding your practice, understanding your body, breathing, moving, and take it inward. So not looking around of what they can do, what they can't do. You let go of any judgments here. And that's what this is about. Just find your path on your mat, the beauty and magic. Hands at the hips when you're ready. Roll the shoulders back. Root the feet. Slowly come up to stand. And then we'll heel toe the feet a bit closer in once we're there. And then give your legs a bit of a shake. If you want a sip of water, something, grab a sip of water. I have my lemon ginger tea. Lemon, ginger, and tulsi. Tulsi, I love it. Okay. Shall we do the other side? I think so. Top of the mat. Let's clean it out with the vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Plant the palm. Step back into your plank pose. Find your way down, your variation. Up dog or cobra. Whatever you'd like to do here. Spend a moment or two. Feel it. Then find your downward dog or child's pose. Walk it out. Take a few breaths here. Yeah, use that breath. Open the mouth. Exhale. When you're ready, find your down dog. If you're not there, spread your hands wide. Feet together. Press those heels down. Really stretch back. Feel the stretch in your calves. And then lift your toes up and drop both heels to the right. And just feel that side stretch. Push back. Use your hands to press back. Lift up onto the tippy toes, drop your heels to the left of the mat and push back. Feel that stretch through the QL side body. Good. Inhale, come up. Center. This time we are taking left leg back to the sky. Stretch it up. Three-legged dog. And then as you exhale, draw the knee in, and we're going to hold core plank, shoulders above the wrist. Hold and lift here for 3, 2, 1. Step the foot forward. Back foot in, turned out 20 to 30 degrees. Heel to heel alignment. If that's hard on your balance, you can step that foot out a bit further so it's more hip width distance apart. When you're ready, hands to the hips. We're coming up slowly. We're finding our warrior one. Good old warrior one. So I feel this more in my calf. Straighten the back leg, press your back heel down. Try not to bend the back knee. That's most important. If anything, lessen the bend of the front knee. Don't compensate by bending the back knee and lifting the heel up. Find your stance, 3 to 4 feet apart. Bend into the front knee, knee over ankle. Always make adjustments. Find your pose. Don't rush through it. Hands at the hips, square the hips, left hip back, right hip forward. And then any variation with your hands, find it for yourself today. Okay, so warrior one, chest lifted, lengthen through the sides of the body. And breathe. So find your nice depth of your breath in your warrior one pose. Low ribs in a little bit. Tailbone gently tucks in. Take one more breath, lift through the heart, soften the shoulders. And then exhale, hands to the hips. We're going to straighten our front leg. Once again, square the hips. So the hips are always going to want to twist. Remember the path of least resistance? So we want to draw left hip back, right hip forward. Try to keep that. Keep your fingers in those hip creases and really pull that left hip back. Both legs are straight now, and you're going to lengthen forward through the heart. Remember the front of the spine, lengthening forward, heart forward. Come down as low as you're comfortable, hinge from the hips. Pull the left hip back. Stay here, maybe hands to the leg, ankle, floor, prop, whatever you want to do. And then again, check in. Maybe you keep your left hand at your left hip and just keep pulling the left hip back. It's always going to want to twist, but this is like an adjustment you're doing on yourself. Notice the back foot. Is it still rooted? Is the heel lifted? If it is, maybe shorten your stance. Maybe widen your stance. Lengthen the heart forward, melt down. You can have a prop under both or one hand. I'm going to keep my left hand in my left hip crease to remind myself to pull it back as I draw my right hip forward for the last 2. And 1. Slowly, hands at the hips. And then bring the hands to the floor. We're going to walk our hands forward. Find your supported warrior 3. Hips are still squared. Press out through the back heel. So we've been here before. Find your props. Maybe this is it today. Hands here. Maybe one hand up, one on the leg, both hands on the leg. Prayer hands, T shape, hands in front of you. See where your balance is today. Play, be playful, laugh, enjoy it. Like, woo! Hands can be in front, T shape, prayer, floor. Don't forget about that back leg though. Become aware of your periphery. The furthest parts of your body are supporting you. That back leg is strong and firm. Flex the toes towards your knee. Lift the heart, lengthen, breathe. 3, 2, 1. Fingers to the floor. Exhale, forehead and knee hug in. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the leg. Exhale, hug in. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Eventually, the back leg goes back really far. We are setting up for our warrior 2. So take your time. Front heel, inner arch alignment, back foot about 90 degrees or slightly turned in. Find the stance and then bend to the front knee, warrior 2. Left knee over left ankle, back leg. I'm pressing my thigh bone, my right femur bone back, pressing into the outer edge of my foot on that right foot. Left knee to the left, remember? Dropping into the right is the path of least resistance. We want to work and open up the groin, the hip. Stack the knee over the ankle. Arms open. If you're really tight in the shoulders, I recommend palms up and soft bend in the elbows. So your choice. Try both. Look over your front hand. Low ribs in. Slight lengthening down of the tail. And then check out your posture, like look at your body and see, okay, am I aligned? If not, adjust. Find it. Learn about your body. Where we can go. Everyday changes too. Good. Open the chest, extend through the hands, lift the heart. Good. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the hands up. Exhale, warrior 2, open it up. Inhale, reach up, straighten the front leg. Exhale, warrior 2. Exalted warrior. Left hand up, back hand to back leg. Soften the back shoulder. Find the spaciousness, find your variations, whatever you'd like with the hands, back of the head, forearms small to back, whatever your heart desires. Just find your version, your expression today. Make sure that front knee is still bent and drawing to the left. Can you straighten the back leg more and drop the back shoulder? Lift from the side body and ribs, lift your heart. Good. Exhale. We come back into this warrior two with the front leg straight or micro bend. Reach forward, lengthen as much as you can. Remember that sort of pivoting action. This time the left sit bone is moving back towards my right heel when I reach forward. Feel it. Do it a few times. Femur bone moving into the hip socket. Reach forward, forward, forward. Find Trikonasana. Hold onto the front ankle, block, fingers to the floor or inner leg. And then again, variations with head, hand, maybe reaching up overhead, internal rotation, stretch out, draw the shoulder back, open the chest. Focus on the twist, like the left ribs want to turn up to the sky. So see where you're at. Both sides are different. See if you can just balance it out. And then find steadiness, the effort, and the ease of the breath. Rooting into the feet, opening up. When you're ready, inhale, rise up. Exhale, whoo, release the arms, shake it out, shake the shoulders, turn the toes in. So let's do one more wide-legged. Wide-legged stance. Actually, let's switch it up. Toes are going to be out this time. Okay, so let's do the opposite. Toes out, heels in. Wide-legged stance. Let's bend into the knees. Option one, hands at the thighs. Let's just sway our hips. Keep the chest lifted and just sway, rock side to side. This feels nice. It can get more challenging, so if you want to go harder, forearms to the thighs, drop your bum low, side to side sway. This would be a level 2. Level 3, you grab onto the front of the ankles and you're swaying side to side. Drop your bum, lift your chest. Deep breaths. Remember Ujjayi, it's a great helper here. Really release those hips. Wherever you are, let's all come to the forearms on the thighs. Let's just meet here for a moment. And then bring your hands back onto the top of the thigh. Sit deeper if you can. Drop the bum. Sway. You might feel the burn. 2. And 1. Good. Straighten your legs up. Stretch up. Inhale, arms to the sky. Interlock your fingers. Index finger points to the sky. Come into some little side bends. Stay connected to your feet and your core for stability. And then just side bending. Soften the shoulders. Good. And then we'll do one center. Exhale, bend the knees. Cactus the arms. Reaching and up. One more. Here we go. Reaching and up. Okay, I lied. I lied for love. One more. I love the number 3, so we got to do 3. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale. There, we're done. Perfect. Shuffle the feet in. That was a nice long wide-legged stance. Shake it out, shake it out. Top of the mat, vinyasa, clean it out. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Plant the palm, step back. Find your plank position. Find your way down, any variation. I'm going to come into cobra. Bhujangasana, lift the heart, active legs, elbows in. Exhale, lower. All 4 hands and knees, downward dog or child's pose, walk it out. So find your down dog or child's pose, any variation. Take a few cycles of breath. Breathing in fully, breathing out. And then from child's pose, let's meet in downward facing dog. Or simply come to all 4s, hands and knees. Pigeon pose. Draw the right knee up to the right wrist. Ideally, the right knee is wider than your right hip. Your heel can be to the groin or a little bit further away so the shin is more parallel to the front of your mat. Back leg, make sure it's straight. Walk it further back. Come straight out through your hip. I'm going to untuck my back toes, but some people curl them under. I prefer them untucked. I'm going to stay high on my fingertips, shoulders back. And I'm going to start by pulling my right hip back, left hip forward. Feel the weight. Maybe lift your hands up. Feel the weight in the hips. We want that. You might stay here. You might come onto the forearms. You might extend your arms all the way out in front and just release your head down. So just find what's best for you and lengthen your heart forward and down. Sink into the right hip crease. So you're kind of gently pulling that right hip back still. Left hip forward energetically. Just really feel it in the hip. You might even lean to the left or right a little bit just to kind of ease into the opening. And then find equal weight between left and right side once you have that, and just kind of melt into your pigeon pose. This is a beautiful hip opener, but if you have any pain in your right knee, come in to thread the needle on your back or find a softer hip opener for yourself. You might even prop up a block or bolster, a blanket underneath your right thigh or sit bone and just lean into it. You might even drop all the way over onto the outer right thigh, like completely fall over onto that thigh and just do pigeon that way. It's a good way to start because this one can be quite a deep hip opener for some people with tight hips. You might even have an injury, so just always make sure, remember that joy pain is the dull pain we welcome. That's the stretch. The sharp shooting is, come on out, modify, adjust, use props. It's not for my body in this moment. Take another few breath cycles here. Soften through the exhale, melt your heart. When you're ready, take your time nice and slow. We're going to walk ourselves back up, palms to the mat. Now curl the back toes under. If you can, come into a three-legged dog. Reach your right leg back to the sky. Bend the knee and circle out the knee. Draw big circles, both directions. You might even stack the hips and drop that right foot out and flip your dog open up to the sky. So I have my right foot rooted. I'm extending my left leg, lifting my hips, opening up my arm. This is optional, of course. Slowly coming back when you're ready. Three-legged dog to down dog, find it, or tabletop. From there, we will move into the other side. Left knee, left wrist. Ideally, left knee is wider angle than the left hip. Heel to the groin or just a little bit away. So find the adjustment there. Back leg, take a look at it, make sure it's straight, right out from that right hip. Maybe walk it back a bit, lengthen out. And then if your toes are actually untucked, make sure you're not turning your heel to the side. The heel should be pointing up, or keep your toes curled under, okay, for that support. Sometimes I find more compression in my low back with my toes curled under, so I like my toes untucked, heel up. So decide, try both if you want. And then draw your left hip back, right hip forward. Feel that weight in the hips. And then slowly find your way down. Forearms or arms fully extended out, forehead to the floor. Maybe the hands in prayer above your head, thumbs touching the upper back. It's optional too. Whatever serves you the best in this moment, opening up your left hip. Just try to lengthen your heart forward as you come down. So we're going to lengthen through the upper body as we sink into that left hip crease, left hip back, right hip forward. Feel that dullness of the stretch. Breathe to where you're feeling it the most in your body right now. That's where you need the stretch, the opening first. Give it prana, give it hydration, opening up the fascial layers, breath. Soften, melt, find the balance between effort and ease. Your hips are saying thank you, thank you, thank you for giving me this attention. You're giving your hips some love right now, some attention to stay fluid, mobile, the mobility range of motion. Maybe that rocking side to side if you haven't done it already. It feels good just to kind of rock a little bit on the hips and then feel the depth of it by sinking into that left hip crease more. So again, our yoga practice should be one of exploration, and it's a personal journey of exploration, right? Like everybody's different. Like I have no idea what you're feeling. You don't know what I'm feeling. I can just kind of explain as best I can, but only you know what you feel. So listen to that part of your wisdom. It's the greatest teacher, that inner voice in your practice. Know when to challenge yourself, when to back off, when to play with the edge, when to modify. So modify is needed always. Take one more full cycle of breath. And then when you're ready, slowly bring your palms back onto the mat. Support yourself. Curl the back toes under. We're going to prepare for that three-legged dog. Bend the knee and circle out, circle out. You're welcome to flip the dog as well, like we did on the other side. So just kind of take your time, shake it out, move around, flipping. You might just come into down dog, walk it out. So just find your release. And then when you're ready, we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Bring the knees down to the floor. Maybe there's a child's pose here, a wiggle of the hips. There's no rush. We're going to eventually come onto our back. So when we're ready, we'll be on our back. So make your way down, have a seat. Come onto your back. When you're on your back, hug your knees in, rock side to side, little massaging circles. Let's take our left leg long. When you're ready, circle into the right hip socket. Yeah, so just circling it out both directions, maybe hugging towards the right armpit. Just move it around. Did a lot of standing, some hip work, so releasing any of that holding or tension. Switch sides, take the other leg in, left knee in, circle it out, massaging. Feel into the ball and socket joint of your hip. Enjoy that movement. Good, and then we'll keep that left foot on the floor. So let's bring both feet on the floor. Bend the knees. Take the feet wide, knees knock into touch if you can. Palms on the belly. Take 3 breaths here into the belly, into your hands. As you exhale, relax your back, your lower back, your ribs, soften down, grounding, earth, 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 breath, air. So we're going to do a little bit of just some core work before we cool it down a little bit more. So just one little piece of fire left. Fire in the core. Okay, so when you are ready, we will draw the knees up over our hips. And from here, you can just keep your hands alongside the body, palms down, and you can extend one leg out, draw one leg in. Okay, so we're alternating. Try to flatten your low back a little bit more, so navel to spine. So we're just doing opposite leg extensions, really targeting the lower abs. Try to keep your knees over your hips, not your belly, when you bring the knees in. Okay, we're going to keep going here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Bring the feet to the floor, parallel, about hip width distance apart. Hands either cross over your chest, holding the shoulders lightly, or fingers to the sides of your head, your choice. Don't interlock though, just fingers to the side or hold the chest. And then we're gonna lift the heart up and gently scoop the tailbone up, like you're making a letter C shape. So kind of like a little crunch, if you will. And you're looking between your legs. Lower down, inhale, exhale, sitting up. Nice and easy. Root your feet. Go at your pace. If you want to speed this up, speed it up. Think of lifting the bottom of your shoulder blades off the mat. So the base of the scapula blades are lifting when you lift up. Really feel the little squeeze at the top. Exhale, lift, squeeze. Remember that little lift of the tail. It's subtle, but there's a little lift of the tail as well when you lift up. Ujjayi breath is a great option here. If you need to exhale through the mouth, exhale through the mouth. Lift the chest. Lift the shoulder blades. Gentle lift of the tail. Root your feet here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to stay lifted on the 1. Stay lifted, hands to the sides. Reach for your feet side to side here. So you're touching fingers to your ankles or heels. The heart is lifted. Breathe, navel to the spine for 5, side to side. 4, reach. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Release your head down. Full breath in, full breath out. Hands alongside the body, feet parallel. Maybe your fingertips can lightly brush your heels or close to that. Root into your feet. Inhale, lift up into a moving bridge. Lift your hips, lift your chest up, squeeze your glutes. Stand in your feet. Exhale, lower down, nice and slow, vertebra at a time. See if you can really allow that tailbone to touch last. Inhaling up as high as you can. Exhaling down. So this is a moving bridge. Really try to lengthen out through the spine as you come down. Control it. Get longer through your low back, okay? So you're doing this, you're just doing this moving bridge. Level 2 students, we're going to stay in our bridge pose. You're lifted up. Level 1, keep moving in your moving bridge. Walk your feet a little bit closer, level 2. Come on to the right tippy toes. Lift your right heel. Lift your left leg up to the sky. And lift your hips and chest and pulse up and down here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Slowly bend that left knee. Bring the foot on the floor. Both feet on the floor. Lower down for a moment. Take a breath here. Level 1 students, you're still doing your moving bridge. Take your time. You might even hold in moving bridge. Level 2, come up high in your bridge. We're on the left tippy toes. Lift that left heel. Right knee, leg, right leg up, and pulsing up and down. Here we go. 5, lift. 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Bend the knee. Slowly bring the leg down. Heels come down. Everyone come down together. Open your feet wide. Cactus arms or T-shape. Windshield washer knees side to side. Head moves in opposite direction of your knees. Come back to center. Right leg long. Left knee in. Half twist. Take the left knee over towards the right. Left hand opens to the left. Stack your hips as best as you can. And use the right hand as leverage, pressing down on your outer left thigh. Gaze up or left. Breathe into your back body. Soften your shoulders. Good. Slowly come back to center. Hug your left knee and bring your forehead to your knee. Extend your leg long, switch sides. Draw your right knee in, half twist. Take it over to the left this time, using that left hand as leverage. Right arm opens to the right, gaze up or right. Try to stack your hips. You might even lift up your left hip and scooch it to the right of your mat a bit to stack those hips. So modify as you need. Maybe your right leg comes all the way to the floor or just halfway. So again, check in. Check in with the range of motion of your spine and the twist, and breathe wherever you are. Fullness of your breath. Soften, exhale. Good. Come back onto your back, hug the knee and bring your forehead to the knee, squeeze in. Bring both knees in, hug and squeeze. Happy baby, find your variation. You might just hold the back of the thighs here or outer feet. Wide legs, open up wide. Rock side to side if that feels good on your back. Pull your shoulders towards the mat. Top of the thighs to the floor. Flex your toes to your knees. Breathe into the belly, hips slow back. Exhale. Beautiful. Releasing as you feel ready. We're going to prepare for Shavasana. If you have a bolster or pillow, I welcome you to grab it. I'm going to place it underneath my knees. I'm going to use some of my Rashida Rose. Rashida's my mom's name. She passed in 2020. So I do have a wellness line, if you didn't know. And I have a bunch of amazing, all-natural, locally made products infused with healing crystal frequencies. So 1948 was the year of her birth, and she loved roses. So I created a 1948 Rashida Rose mist. So rose is such a calming scent. I love rose myself. So I'm just going to use it in my Shavasana. Just sort of spray it around. Just such a nice way to cool down from a practice. Rose is calming. Such a beautiful scent. Relaxing back in your Shavasana in whatever position is most comfortable for you. Support yourself as needed. Palms up. And exhale, let the breath go. Soften your body and thank yourself for all the work you've done today. And so much, right, in our practice sometimes, like keeping focus, so much to remember, listening on the mat, but it's so good to train the mind, discipline. Really helps us in our everyday life to take this time for ourselves, be present on our mat and move in our bodies and learn about our bodies and where our mind goes when we're in these positions and what's easy, what's hard, and why can't I balance? Why can't I do this? You know, all the judgments, interesting conversations. And I always just welcome the observer witness part of ourselves in these practices. Just notice and let it go. It's, you know, this whole life, it's such a mystery. It's a beautiful mystery and a beautiful journey. And I'm so grateful for the practice and my practice, and that I can share it with you is the greatest gift in my life. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your practice, and I hope you come back on the mat soon. Give yourself this nourishment for the mind, body, and spirit. Giving yourself that love and balance and peace. You're made up of all the elements like we used today: space, air, fire, water, earth. Take this moment to feel supported by the earth, Mother Earth wrapping herself around you, cocooning so you can surrender in your shavasana, relaxation, allowing for integration, softness. Allow your breath to be shallow and uncontrolled now. Letting go of every limb. If you have the luxury of time, I always welcome you to stay in your shavasana as long as you are able to. Just be here, be still, be with your present moment self, and just let go. Give yourself full permission to let go. Sending you so much love and light and gratitude. Namaste.